Got Riley and Raymond.
Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a beautiful Tuesday edition of the JP Peterson Show on this New Year's Eve. Oh, it is absolutely an incredible setting where we are right now. We are coming to you live from the sidelines of the ReliaQuest Bowl. I'm trying to get my camera set just right. And it is two of the blue bloods of college football, Alabama and Michigan, squaring off. Now, a year ago to the day, these two teams are playing in a national semifinal at the Rose Bowl. You want to hold that? All right, I got Scotty Fitz. That's perfect. Hold it right there.
Nice.
At the Rose Bowl, that's even better. Tilt down just a little bit. There, perfect. Now I'm sideways. Now like I'm drunk and it's already New Year's Eve. So
we're off to a roaring start here today.
And we haven't even started yet. We haven't even started drinking yet. Yes, this is outstanding. Anyway, welcome into the show today, the JP Peterson Show. We don't know where the heck this thing's going today, being live. It may crap out at any minute, but we are here and we are live. And Tim Ham is back in our Dallas studio. Good morning to you, my friend. Happy New Year. Maybe be the first to wish you a Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. Also to New Zealand, Australia, Japan.
Right.
It is already 2025, and we have a ton of listeners over there. So Happy New Year to all of you.
Yeah, I mean, where else are people going live from the sidelines of the ReliaQuest Bowl? Look at it. We got the Alabama cheer squad here. Wow. We're going to be talking to Rayleigh, who has been cheering for Alabama for 4 years. Yeah. And, how cool is that? Like, how much fun are you having as a cheerleader for Alabama, all the places that they've gone? So we're going to check with her about that. Let's do a walk and talk. Come on.
Yeah.
Dothan, Alabama. We'll do a little walk and talk here.
Here we go.
So the Alabama band is already here. The world-famous Crimsonettes are already here. So, Dad, don't put me on there. Show them. You can see them up there. And the band is here. They brought no opt-outs for the band or the Crimsonettes, I'm told. No opt-outs at all. They're all here because a couple of them are going pro. Like a couple of they're definitely going pro. But they have decided to play, like all the Alabama players, they have decided to play. The Crimsonettes that are going to the league and everybody's here. It was like mandatory. You come to Alabama, you don't opt out. So respect, because FSU needs to learn a little something about that.
Lots of teams do.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we got the beautiful ship up here, the Buccaneer ship, and then, this stadium looks absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. And it's a little overcast right now, but it's going to be about 75 and sunny for the entire day. How cool is that? Absolutely awesome. Jalen Milroe is playing. He's going to play the entire game. Cam Ward. Like you start the game, you finish the game. So Jalen Milroe, is going to finish out the entire game, we're told. And by the way, Michigan has a bunch of opt-outs. Their entire defensive line, which was so key in beating Ohio State, is not going to play. And their calling card is stopping the run. So I don't know how Michigan stops the run today. I think Jalen Milroe is going to run for about 250 and 4 touchdowns. Alabama minus 16. Bingo. You want to get your year off to a nice start. So let me see if Rayleigh is available. Rayleigh, are you available now? Not now. You got some. All right, they got a Roll Tide to do. Uh-oh. Just come on over when you're. But this is important business. This is important business. High tide. No, Roll Tide. I love that commercial, by the way. That's awesome. That's one of the best that's out there. It's so good. It's so good. So we'll talk to Rayleigh in a second, but just to kind of set up this game, and Alabama, I think there's really, a purpose for them here today. They want to show that they should have been involved in the playoff. And right now, after what we saw in the first round, Timmy, can we say that they're wrong?
No, they are wrong. They did not make it in the playoff. They don't belong in the playoff.
Oh my God! Good thing they can't hear you. Indiana. I mean, I hate to say it.
Indiana earned their way into the playoff. They earned it. They deserve to be there.
What do you think the spread would be, Indiana, Alabama?
Just give this thing some time, all right, on the playoff bracket. We just freaking got there to 12 teams. Give it some time, for God's sake.
Point is, this Alabama team is really good. Inconsistent, obviously, losing to Vanderbilt. losing at Oklahoma. That's obviously why they're not in the college football playoff. But they came here Kalen DeBoer and I talked to him at the contract signing party. There is obviously, I don't want to say there's pressure. This is not like this is a playoff game or anything. But when you're in Alabama, and basically paraphrasing what he said, you're expected to go out and win in front of your fans. You're expected to put your best foot forward. And they've got 3 or 4 first-round picks on this team, and every one of them are like, "Are you kidding me? This is my last chance to play at Alabama." So while we everybody wants to talk shit about Cam Ward. Everybody and rightfully so. But again, we talked about this yesterday. It's not all the players' fault. It is not all the players' fault. They're just playing by the rules that they're given. And if you're going to be a top 5 pick, you probably shouldn't have played in the bowl game anyway. A meaningless bowl game. But so I'll give Cam Ward credit for that, but it's just a bad look. Yeah. And now let's celebrate the players that are first-round picks that are here playing on this field today. Let's celebrate the programs like Alabama who have a culture that does not allow players basically to opt out. I'm not saying none of them ever do, and there are some, but for the most part, this is, a program that is not going to allow that stuff, and I like that. Oh yeah, here we go.
Look at that.
See, they're practicing the roll tide. They did not say high tide.
High tide.
They got it. If I say that to Rayleigh, you think she'll laugh at that?
I'm gonna be saying it the whole time. I wish she could hear me.
You want to? Let's go. Let's take a walk over here and show you some of the players.
A little bit too, JP. We got Scott Reynolds coming on at 10:30 to talk Bucks. Big win for them over the weekend. I'm sure you guys covered all of that. Then we've got live from the Citrus Bowl, our own Scott Hamilton coming up at 11, and then our own Tito is going to be talking about Ohio State and Oregon at the Rose Bowl tomorrow.
Wait a minute.
For you today.
So wait a minute. On the JP Peterson Show, FanStream Sports Network today, you're getting live from the ReliaQuest Bowl, Alabama, Michigan, live from the sidelines.
Yep.
Right? And then we're going to take you live to Orlando to I believe it's the Cheez-It Bowl, is it not?
The Cheez-It Bowl.
The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl.
Yep.
Not to be confused with the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which we just had. So, but on the same field. And there may be still some Pop-Tart residue on the field. So and then we're going to talk about, and then we're going to go to Tito, who's in Columbus, right? Or is he at the Rose Bowl?
I think he's in Columbus still.
He didn't go.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
The FanStream Sports budget not enough to send Tito to the Rose Bowl. He
always wants to fly first class. He's like JP. Like we reserve the first class seats for JP. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So the answer is no. It's not in the budget. That's exactly what the answer is. It's not in the budget. But I think this is kind of cool. This is what happens 2 hours before the game. All right, they come out in their shorts. Everybody's got their Beats headphones on or whatever headphones they got going on now, and just getting psyched up for the game, doing making sure their cleats are right. God, this field, I'm telling you. Look, pan down to the field, Scotty. Look at that. That is like so pristine. I mean, it is. If you're a golfer, I mean that you could get a perfect lie on this. Johnny Gerber would love this. I mean, it's and the field here at Raymond James Stadium is world renowned as one of the best playing surfaces in all of sports. I mean, it doesn't have a huge crown to it, but it's also got the suction underneath and the heating coils, all that great stuff. So even when it rains, and it's not going to rain today, even though it's a little overcast, it's pristine. You never get puddling, any of that stuff. So they love playing on this field. They love playing on this grass. So, so Alabama, and setting this game up, Alabama is a 16-point favorite. That'll probably go to 17.5 by game time because of the fact that Michigan this was a very average Michigan team at best. And they as you saw in the Ohio State game, Tim, they can't throw the football. Yeah. Like the forward pass is a challenge for the University of Michigan this year. It's a challenge. So the fact that they've got to now run the ball against this Alabama defense that knows they're going to run the football, and they're going to have to defend the run without their best players, Michigan. Again, I don't. If you have some extra pizza money laying around, I think Alabama rolls this one about 40-7.
Well, then who's going to buy my pizza?
Yeah. That's true. So
there's no Michigan representatives on the field right now. We can't go see some Michigan cheerleaders. Oh, here's
all right. We'll go. But Rayleigh is here right now from Dothan, Alabama. Hello, Rayleigh.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Excited to be here.
Yeah. Has it been fun here in Tampa?
Oh, it's been super fun. I would say the parade last night was one of my favorite events that I've done here.
Really?
Yes, it was super fun.
I mean, that's saying something. You've been cheering for 4 years for Alabama. You have seen some things and been to some parties.
Yes. And last night, the Alabama fans really brought the energy, and it was amazing. So fun.
You had beach day yesterday too, right?
We actually didn't get to go to the beach because of the bad weather in Alabama kind of delayed our leave. So
No.
we had to miss, and we got here about like 5 p.m., I think, Saturday night.
Right. But last night, so what was that all about, the parade last night in Ybor?
They did a battle of the bands in walking down the parade, and basically it was like New Orleans. People were throwing beads. They had ReliaQuest Bowl beads. It was super fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So 4 years, you've been to a lot of different places. Last year, you were at the Rose Bowl at this time for a Michigan-Alabama game that went to overtime that Michigan won. So y'all didn't win, but that was a heck of an experience, I imagine.
Yeah, that was super amazing experience. Cheering for Alabama has given me some of the greatest experiences that I've ever been able to have. Things bigger than I could even dream of. Like the Rose Bowl is so iconic, and being able to be a part of that was just amazing.
Yeah. Where else have you traveled to?
Oh gosh, I've been
Besides Auburn, Alabama.
I've been to almost every stadium actually. Last year I went to every away game except for USF, so this is my first time in this stadium. But I think probably my favorite was LSU this year. One of my very all-time favorites was LSU this year because we beat the crap out of them in the rain.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I experienced that too at FSU when we beat the crap out of them in the rain on the way to a national championship. What's the loudest stadium in the SEC? Obviously Alabama. But other than Alabama, what's the loudest stadium you've been in?
I'm always gonna have to say Jordan Hare on that one because the Auburn fans really bring the heat because it's personal.
Of course, yeah.
That state rivalry is super personal. They always bring the heat, and somehow they always make some kind of magic happen, no matter what kind of year they're having, because their fans just really show up for them.
That's respectful. How about that? I like that, Ray.
How about football, JP?
She does know her football, absolutely.
Wow.
Tell me a little bit about just how competitive it is to be on Alabama cheer. I can imagine. I mean, I know how hard it is to get a scholarship. How hard is it to be on Alabama cheer?
Whenever I tried out for Alabama cheer, we actually went through 3 rounds of online tryouts, and it just gets harder and more competitive every year. We are switching to more of a recruitment only based tryout process, I guess you would say. So as we go throughout the year and we have clinics, our coach is going to start recruiting girls, and we're doing an invite only kind of tryout this year. But I think the year that I made it, I think I tried out against like 300 other girls, because not only do we cheer sideline, but we also are a very good competitive team. And actually my first year on the team, we won the cheerleading championship. So nice. Super awesome.
You guys just win in Alabama. What's it like being on that campus and with all the athletics that have been so good for so long? How much do you miss Coach Saban?
I miss him, but I'm excited for a new era. I think this is a new and exciting time for Alabama, and being on the campus and like getting to be part of the 1% ambassadors of University of Alabama is really such an honor and a blessing, because like I said, there's been doors and privileges and experiences that I could have never even thought to dream of that have just been. Tell
me about some of them. What are some of your favorites? I know Tampa last night was the best, but some of the other ones.
The Rose Bowl parade was amazing. Seeing all the floats were beautiful. I had never even seen the Rose Bowl parade before, so walking in person and seeing all the floats made out of roses was just an incredible experience. Yeah.
Do kids come up and ask you for your autograph?
Oh yeah, the girls love pictures. I love seeing little girls like in their cheer uniforms, because it really is a reminder, and it truly is humbling of like so many little girls want to be this whenever they get older, and like it's amazing to be able to be their role model.
Who have you taken a picture with that you asked to take, the celebrity?
Celebrity?
Somebody you saw on the sideline, besides JP Peterson.
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban.
Oh, I mean, I didn't get to take a picture with him on the sidelines, but we've had like fundraisers and events for Nick's kids that we've gone to, and we've gotten pictures with him, and that was super exciting.
He's a lot nicer guy away from football, right? And away from the media people. He hates us. We understand. We love him though.
JP, but he's much different. Plans are.
I mean, I've never seen him out, I guess, like technically outside at his fundraisers. He always seems to be having a good time. I love watching him on College Game Day now. He seems so happy, and like he's so entertaining to watch. And him and Pat McAfee make a great duo. Yeah.
Well, Ray, Tim wants to know, what are your post cheerleading plans?
So I don't have my ring on right now, but I'm actually getting married in March.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I just graduated with, I graduated in December with a degree in accounting. So we'll see if I decide to pursue that or not. We don't know because accounting is not my passion, but it's something I did and it was hard. So we'll see. I have a few job opportunities lined up, but I just got to see.
I bet this opens a lot of doors being in Alabama.
Yes, definitely. And a lot of people like to just like being an Alabama cheerleader opens the doors with lots of Alabama fans. And even just being a cheerleader in general, a lot of people think it's a neat opportunity. And it shows a lot about our character, our hard work, perseverance, time management.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who's a lucky guy?
His name is Drew Williams. He's from Enterprise.
Hey, Drew. Hey, Drew. Drew, you're a lucky man. Really, thank you so much for your time. It was so nice to meet you. Good luck to Alabama today.
Thank you.
I got a lot of money riding on it. My kids' education, the whole thing. So just make sure we cover that 16, all right?
All right,
thank you. I tied. Let's make sure you cover that 16. You know, like she's. Hey, if they cheer really hard, then it can happen.
I was shocked. She was really educated. You know, she's been around the block with the football team and everything. It sounds great,
bro. That was just a horrible thing to say. Like of course she is. Of course she is.
Cheerleaders are dumb.
Oh my God, you're so stupid.
I was a high school cheerleader. Okay, cheerleaders are dumb.
You were a high school cheerleader. Well, that was a long time ago. You know, I didn't ask her this, but I can guarantee you this: they've got to keep a certain GPA to stay on this team. I guarantee you that. And they, you know, and you know, by the way, you think it, you know how hard it is to get into Alabama and any of these schools, these SEC schools. Yeah. People think it's, well, except Auburn, but
true story.
True story. But they're like, you got to have like a 1400 SAT. Yeah. You ain't getting in.
Would you get
50
on your
ain't
SAT?
Getting in. What?
Would you get on your SAT?
It's going fuzzy on that, right? I listen.
1278, brother. 1278 right here.
I might have been in the 1300s just to up you. Just to up you. Yeah. Right. My first one, though, I got an 850. Yikes, an 850. Then I had somebody take it. No, the first one I had to take after a football game the night before where I got sacked 13 times in the game in the mud, and had to get up in the morning and go take the test. So it didn't work out so well. No. So when I took it the second time and got 1300, they sent me something, said you cheated. So I had to go take it again in front of a proctor in like the principal's office, and I got a better score. So that was good. So that's my awesome. That's my SAT story. You don't have to take them anymore. So anyway,
when you were interviewing Rayleigh, Jalen Milroe walked right past you behind you.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Where is he?
Your left. He walked off to your left there wearing a hoodie. It was number 4 hoodie.
Where is he?
I thought he was going to grab you.
Oh, he did. Well, he wanted to. You know that. You know that. Where did he go?
He walked off to your left, so I don't know where he ended up.
No Bama opt-outs.
No Bama opt-outs. No, they're all here. And Jalen was at the hockey game the other night. We had him at the Bolts game. A lot of the guys were there, very much enjoying some hockey. So, yeah, I just
have a hockey team.
That's a good question. I don't know. It's probably not an official sport, but they may have a club hockey team. Because believe it or not, like all these Southern teams now have hockey teams, mostly club.
An ACHA D1 hockey team.
Yeah, whatever the hell that is. Yeah. Yeah, but the players were there, and they've enjoyed themselves this week. And shout out to the ReliaQuest Bowl. I mean, this has been, you're talking about a home run matchup here between Alabama and Michigan. You know, and outside of the college football playoff, I don't think you have a better matchup just in terms of blue bloods. And I think these are the two winningest programs in the history of college football. And I was looking at some of you look at the history of these games. They've actually played 3 times here in this bowl game. They played in a Tom Brady Orange Bowl game back in '98, I believe it was.
Oh, wow.
That was a classic. Brady threw for 396. Well, so this is an interesting juxtaposition here, and this happens a lot. This is the rehearsal of the national anthem. Yep. So the etiquette here normally, obviously, would be to stand but we've talked about this through the years and broadcasting, and basically, this is the rehearsal doesn't count. It's a sound check.
Yeah, so in terms of respect, song, so yeah,
right, exactly. So in terms of respect, don't get mad at me for speaking over this. This is universally accepted during the rehearsal of the that you can. The etiquette is somewhat, they're just testing speakers and whatnot here. So we'll just continue on.
By the way, JP, the Alabama hockey team are called the Frozen Tide.
The Frozen Tide?
How great is that?
That's fantastic.
They're the Frozen Tide.
That is fantastic. So, all right. So, a couple other things we wanted to get to. Buccaneers obviously will be playing for their playoff lives on this field at 1:00 on Sunday against the awful New Orleans Saints, who lost to the Raiders this past weekend. But throw out the records. Throw out the records when the Saints and Bucs play. It's always going to be a nasty game. Obviously, Mike Evans going for the 1,000-yard season to tie Jerry Rice's record. That's huge. But more than anything, it's about the playoffs and getting into playoffs. And I don't know if you caught this yesterday, Tim, but Bowles was asked, what was it like to watch the Commanders-Falcons game as your playoff hopes are, hanging in the balance? He was sleeping.
Yeah.
He was sleeping.
So great.
God bless the man. God bless the man. I don't know how to feel about that, to be quite honest. I mean, I'm not in the man's shoes, but I mean, if my playoff life was in the hands, and obviously he's going to watch the game 17,000 times for the all 22 and everything and breaking it down, scouting reports. So that's not what we're talking about. But how can you not watch that? As a fan, I wonder how the fans feel about that. I mean,
I wouldn't care as a fan. I wouldn't care. Hey, you go do you. Be comfortable with what you're doing. Treat it any way you would another day, just so that you're comfortable. To me, that's how I would look at it.
Yeah, I guess. I've seen some, stuff on Twitter, and fans are just like, how do you not watch that game?
Yeah.
I mean, professionally, I don't care. I mean, it doesn't mean anything in terms of the coaching or what. Oh, here we go again. So fine baritone,
JP,
whoever's doing this.
Also today, we're going to be offering our favorite sports moments of 2024 as today closes out 2024. I've got 6 of mine, and I've got video loaded for these 6. So
nice. Very nice.
Throughout the show, I'll be throwing up my top 6 sports moments of all time, and I will tell you, one of them may not sit well with Tampa Bay fans. I'm just going to say.
Oh.
A little bit of a tease.
Is it the Florida Panthers lifting the cup? Because that made me hurl. No question about that.
Yes, it is. I think that's my number 2 sports moment. Just because it's the Stanley Cup. It's my favorite sport. And
it's our biggest rival, and you just want to rub it in. I get it. I mean, it's been so long since, but whatever.
Here, I'll tell you what. I'll throw up my number 6 right now while the national anthem is going on behind you. Here's my number 6 sports moment of 2024.
Here we go.
Mahomes flings it. It's there! Hardman! Jackpot! Kansas City! And this
Kansas City wins the Super Bowl, JP. 2nd straight Super Bowl.
And the way they did it, that walk-off, I mean, that was incredible. What can you say about Patrick Mahomes? I mean, he's just the ultimate equalizer. There's just no way he's going to lose.
No.
I mean, that team he's playing on right now, any other quarterback, except maybe Burrow, that team's got 6-7 losses. I mean, it's a very average team on so many levels. But with Patrick Mahomes, you're 15-1. Yeah. Defense is, I mean, Chris Jones, it's a pretty good defense. I will say that. Statistically, it's a pretty good defense. But still, I mean, that team probably loses at least 4 or 5 games. Well,
at least. Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
And it just goes
is the difference maker.
It just goes to the importance of, late games, clock management. That's why Brady won so much of what Brady won. I mean, you go down and look at how many of those games, Super Bowls, everything were 1-score games. So many of the NFC Championship games, he was the master. And when you watched him do it in the Buccaneer uniform, I really got an appreciation for clock management. And we talk about the coaches all the time. When you have a quarterback like that, like Bill Belichick never had to worry really about clock management because Tom Brady was doing everything in his head and basically doing everything. And I'm not saying everything, but that's when you have a quarterback like that. And then you look last week, Michael Penix is a rookie or on Sunday night, and Michael Penix doesn't know how to get the team up and what's coming next. He's just trying to figure things out. What an incredible job he did, even for a rookie, the 4th down passes. And then your head coach just leaves you hanging out to dry. Or whoever was supposed to call timeouts, just losing 25 seconds when there's 40 seconds. I mean, it's just such an egregious mistake, and we've seen Todd Bowles do it multiple times. And, I mean, we underestimate, I think, sometimes how important it is, clock management, getting people on and off the field at the right times, getting the field goal units on, knowing when to use timeouts, when not to use it. It's such a huge part of the NFL game. But that's why Patrick Mahomes is who he is, and Andy Reid is who he is. These guys are experienced guys, and in one-score games, they've rarely. I don't know what his record is in one-score games, but it's got to be in the 85 to 90 percentile.
Yeah,
without question. So.
Yeah, well, they won. What they won a NFL record like Mahomes did. What, 7 in a row? 7 one-score games in a row or something? I think.
Yes. Yeah. Just this year.
Yeah.
So insane.
Insane.
Good number 6 moment. So I'll have some of mine later on in the show. All right, where are we at on the time clock here? You got Scotty Reynolds ready to go?
We can take what's 26 after, 27 after. We can probably break, and he'll probably be back on the other side if you want.
All right, let's get one more pan of the crowd. There's some of the Crimsonettes there. There's and then
Bryce Underwood, recruit LSU guy for 2 years.
Oh yeah, Bryce Underwood.
Michigan offered him $10 million. He's on the sidelines.
Yeah. Are you hearing this?
Yes, Bryce Underwood. Yeah.
Scotty's here.
Hey guys, we're gonna look for Bryce Underwood. He was the number 1 recruit. LSU's been recruiting him last 2 years, and Michigan threw $10 million at him, so he's on the sidelines over there.
Who's that? Who's the rich guy that came up with the cash? Is that Edelman? You should know this. You know all the rich people.
I mean, Michigan guys. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Tons
Who was that?
Yeah.
Was it Portnoy involved in that too?
Yeah, he's a big Michigan guy. I'm sure he was.
I think Portnoy had something to do with it.
He had something to do with it too.
Boosters.
All right.
Bunch
Ross,
of free
the
pizza.
owner of the Dolphins.
Stephen Ross. I
Stephen
think
Ross,
you're right. Yeah,
Michigan guy.
absolutely. All right, so we're going to go do a little undercover investigation here, and we'll go over to the Michigan side, and then we'll come back and join you. You get Scotty Reynolds on, and we'll talk some Bucks football, and I'll rejoin you in a little bit.
We will be doing it. This is the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports. As JP just mentioned, we're going to have the great Scott on the other side and talk some more of our favorite sports moments. JP is live from the ReliaQuest Bowl at Ray J here on a Tuesday. Happy New Year to everybody. We want to hear what your favorite sports moments of the 2024 year were. Put them in the comments. We'll go over those a little bit later. Scott Reynolds on the other side. We'll be back.
Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results, whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all. It's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Tarpon Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports. Welcome into the show. Happy New Year's Eve. Want to hear what everybody's doing for New Year's Eve. Where are you going tonight? Who are you hanging out with tonight? How should I put this? How much fun do you plan on having? And are you being safe with your plans to get home from said evening? Want to make sure everybody's safe, everybody's having a good time. Me, I've got big plans. I'm going to the same bar I always go to hang out with the same people I always hang out with. Probably till just after midnight. They'll probably go around kissing a bunch of strangers that I'll probably never see again. And then Ubering home. It's the way we rock New Year's in Dallas on FanStream Sports. Also want everybody's favorite sports moments of 2024. You guys saw my number 6, the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. I've got my number 5 coming up here. We are awaiting the arrival of Scott Reynolds to talk Bucks after the big win, after the Atlanta Falcons loss. And by the way, who did I see this on the comments? James. Wow, local ATL sports podcast already calling for Raheem's head after his horrid clock management at the end of regulation as well as before halftime. And yes, I'm right there with you. I noticed that as well. And the only thing I could think of was Todd Bowles, right? That was very Todd Bowles-esque with Raheem's clock management in that game. And that's not going to fly well with the Atlanta fans. You know, I know Tampa Bay's got ties to Raheem, and he was in over his head the first time around. And I'll be real honest with you, I'm not sure that he's not in over his head now. Just after seeing this season, his first year in Atlanta coaching, I've seen some very questionable things going on with clock management, not just in the last game for him. I hope good things happen to him. I just don't want it to be with the Falcons, right? Like, we don't mind Raheem. I know he's a good buddy of JP's, but we never wish good things for the Falcons. I mean, come on. Maybe the 3rd worst uniforms in the league right now. Just not impressed. I tell you what, while we await the arrival of one Pewter Report Scott Reynolds, I'm going to throw my number 5 favorite sports moment of 2024 here with you guys. As we've got, Michael LaRue chimes in here, his favorite of 2024, the playoff game versus the Eagles. I've never heard it louder in that stadium. That was a great, great win over a miserable team. We can all agree the Eagles are just a miserable team, right? I'm not just saying that as a Cowboys fan. I think I hate the Eagles more than any other team. Oh, you know what? I don't think. I know I hate the Eagles more than any other team. Even our other division rivals, Giants, Commanders. For some reason, the Eagles just rub me the wrong way. I wish failure for them and their organization, like of the highest order, all the time. Michael Sorgel, welcome to the show, Michael. Good morning to you. His favorite sports moment was when the Buccaneers drafted Graham Barton in the 1st round. That was a pretty good pick. I think JP and I are going to do a recap of the 2024 Bucs draft after the season, or after the regular season anyway, to give our grades and to see how they all did and how maybe if there were any misses and maybe give them our A through F grades as we get through the regular season for the Bucks 2024 draft picks. We'll go through all of that. As JP, wow, JP's back on the show now. I didn't think he'd be back so fast. JP, do you have us? You're muted. We don't have you.
How about now? All right, there we are. So we're back on the Michigan sideline now. So we got all the Michigan guys behind us. There we are.
I thought, hey, by the way, I set this up right before you came back on. Speaking of Michigan, my number 5 favorite sports moment of 2024, JP.
Oh, yes. Which play is this? This
is the pick.
The pick that ended it all. Yeah. The pick that ended it all.
Michigan winning the national championship for the first time since 1997.
Yeah. We were just talking about that here. What a story that was. Oh, my cameraman's back. What a story that was. You know, when you think about where Michigan was, could not beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
Harbaugh was on the verge of getting fired.
Yeah.
And then something magically happened. That they started beating Ohio State. They started, I don't know. You have any idea what that was? Is there any super intel or anything going on the sidelines or any type of sign stealing? Because the record before that stuff, and then after, but that was not a part of their run last year, obviously. Because what was that dude's name again? I watched the whole documentary and the sign stealing. Yeah, Google that for me. Anyway, that whole shenanigans, I think it was real.
Connor Stallions.
No question. Connor Stallions. It was, obviously it was real. The numbers before and after are stark contrast, but they also started recruiting better after that too.
Yeah.
So it's an incredible story. That Michigan National Championship is an incredible story on so many levels. And the way that they did it, and J.J. McCarthy, and they just got so much better at the end of that season. And I thought, frankly, there's no way Michigan's winning the national championship, but they just physically went out there and took it to them. And then they lose their coach. You think about where these two teams are. It's just a year ago. They're playing for the national semifinal in one of the best games. Both teams just loaded with NFL talent. Loaded with NFL talent. And two of the greatest coaches in the history of the game, in Harbaugh and Nick Saban. Fast forward, Sharon Moore, Kalen DeBoer, good coaches, good young coaches, but not the royalty that this game had last year. And then you look at the characters, basically Jalen Milroe is the only holdover from that. But there's a lot more Alabama players that are still here. Most of the Michigan players are gone or opted out. So this Michigan team is a shell of the team that we saw in the Rose Bowl last year. So,
the whole team all season, Michigan lost way more on their team this year than Alabama did. You brought back Jalen Milroe. That tells you a lot right there. And of course, Michigan loses J.J. McCarthy. They lose their running back. I think they lost a lot more.
Bryce Underwood, live right here on the sidelines.
Here he is.
Look at the size of that dude.
Holy dude, isn't it?
Moly. Number one quarterback recruit, $10 million richer.
Think you could sack him? Could you hit him?
No. Dude, he is, holy heck. Come on. Hold on. Let's go. While we're here, let's just not dally around. Look at the size of this dude. You're going to get some. Of course, everybody wants, but no, go there. Yeah, this is the biggest recruiting story, maybe in history. This is what NIL is all about. What was it, 2 years? Recruited? LSU committed 2 years.
Yeah.
$10 million. $10 million later.
I love that he's got the jersey on too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's ready to go. Yeah.
They might need him.
Doesn't have a lot of bling on. Doesn't have a lot of bling on. Yeah,
very understated. I like that in my quarterback.
Very understated. Yeah, very understated. So, so that's. He was headed to LSU, and then $10 million. And this is what we're talking about. Private equity, buying college football teams, right? We're talking about investments in college football, and why is that? Because these teams generate so much money. You're talking about literally $100 million profit a year for Alabama and Michigan Of course, that funds the entire athletic program, funds all the non-revenue sports, all of that. And, it's changing, obviously. But the amount of money that now, each team's going to have 22 million, according to the House settlement, to pay in salaries for the players, which is long overdue. But what do you do with NIL? I mean, NIL is still completely out of control. And anybody who has lots of money can say, you know what? Yeah, that kid's he's the number one quarterback recruit. I'm a Michigan fan. I got lots of money. What else am I going to do with $10 million? Hey,
why not?
At least they're not keeping it. At least they're not buying another yacht. At least we're spreading the wealth a little bit,
Spend it
right?
on your team.
Why not? I mean, if I just had $10 million to throw away, I was the Spanx girl, FSU fan. Boom, here, go get me a quarterback because that one you got sucks.
Yeah,
she probably did that actually, and they spent it on DJU.
Oh my gosh, right?
Sorry, you're not getting any more money. And she's been very generous, by the way. And I wish I've met her before. She's a wonderful lady. And I tried out. Thank you. There's a key piece of information with Scott Fitzgerald.
Of course.
that's crack research right there. What's her name? The Spanx girl, lady, woman, CEO, incredible. Yeah, Suzanne something. Anyway, she's an incredible businesswoman. Has been incredibly generous to FSU. We just need to learn how to spend her money better. So yeah, this is and this is a big part of it. The bowl games. There's a lot of recruiting going on this week. I mean, obviously Tampa Bay is a very talent-rich area. A lot of these gentlemen over here
Sarah Blakely,
recruits.
is that who you're talking about?
Sarah Blakely, yes, Sarah Blakely. Thank you. Be more respectful to remember her name, the idiot that I am. Yes, she. Yeah, and she's been incredibly generous. I mean, there's for her. Willie Taggart might still be our coach. So, yeah, she wrote one of those checks allegedly. So yeah, but this is bowl games like this when you get to come to Florida. One of the best things about it is for the coaching staff, they're doing a lot of recruiting here. They'll have a ton of recruits on the sideline. They get to bring them inside the locker room, and they can really get a feel for what Michigan football is all about, Alabama football is all about. I mean, Florida was here a couple weeks ago, and they're the receiver that they flipped from Oregon, Wilson, local kid here. Them being, in Tampa was probably a big part of that because he was here and around the team, and it's like, you know what, I really do want to go to Florida. So Oregon let me out of my commitment, my NIL, which they did honorably, and he's going to be a huge part of what Florida does moving forward. So these bowl games are not just, people can say they're meaningless, and in terms of a national championship, they are. But you get the 15 practices, everything working towards next year. It really is kind of a springboard to next season for so many of these teams, and for Michigan, there'll be a lot of young players out here playing, and for the rest of them. For Alabama, all these guys will be recruiting. It's about next year, but Milroe's playing, so he's committed as most of those Alabama players are. Hey, Scotty's texting me, so I don't know if he's got the right link as we produce on the air here, Timmy. So why don't we hit a break? And if you can send him a fresh link, we'll see if we can get him on the backside.
Okay, let me see if I have his number. I'm pretty sure I do.
All right, yeah, I'll text you. As we go to break, there's the Michigan cheerleaders are here. We should give them equal and opposite a time here. Yeah. The lovely Michigan cheerleaders.
Cheer off.
Yeah, we should. Boy, that would be awesome, right? Fan stream sports.
We got spirit. Yes, we do. We got spirit. How about you?
JP show. JP show. All right, it's off the rails. Let's take a break. I'll come back and hopefully catch up with Scott Reynolds. We're live from the ReliaQuest Bowl. Yeah, pan over. To the great Michigan. We're live at the ReliaQuest Bowl, Alabama and Michigan here coming up at noon here in Tampa, Florida. Back to JP Peterson show in just a few minutes.
Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Hey, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There's been a lot of talk about lab-grown diamonds. Oh, they're just like the real thing. No, they're not. They're not the real thing. They're lab-grown. They're fake. You want to give your honey a fake diamond? Not a good way to start off the relationship, folks. Take my word for it. Get the real thing, and no place better to shop than the Gold and Diamond Source. And remember, if you shop anywhere else, you don't know if it's real. You don't know what you're buying. The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for over 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors in our community. You know it's real. It's the only place to shop. And if you're planning to purchase for the holidays, don't forget to take advantage of our layaway offer at the Gold and Diamond Source. You can reserve your favorite piece now and pay in easy installments, making your holiday shopping stress-free. As always, we offer up to 5 years interest-free financing for just $84 a month when you finance $5,000. It's the only place to shop for the holidays. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Show right here on FanStream Sports. JP live from Ray J, the ReliaQuest Bowl, Michigan and Alabama coming up today. Out there, the weather looks great. The cheerleaders are getting ready. JP's definitely ready.
Yeah, we're still we're efforting Scott Reynolds. He says the link.
Scott's here.
Let's go. Well, let's get him on. Let's go. Let's go without further ado.
Scott Reynolds joins us live right here on the JP Peterson Show. Hello, Scott.
What's up, Scotty?
Hello, fellas. How are you?
Sorry about the technical issues, my friend. We're here at the beautiful ReliaQuest Bowl, Alabama and Michigan. Hopefully, you had a great college experience going to bowl games at Kansas State, did you not?
Yes, we were pretty successful and just beat the Fighting Greg Schianos in the Rate Bowl last week.
That was a heck of a comeback, too.
Yeah,
that was.
It was.
All right. I know your time is short, so I apologize for the technical difficulty. So I just want to get your take on that demolition that we saw here on Sunday. I mean, both you and I thought that this was going to be a much tougher game for the Buccaneers, and full credit to them for absolutely taking care of business against an inferior team. I think it just shows how good this team is and how good this offense is.
Yeah, well, I think a couple things when you look at that game that really kind of influenced my pick, and I probably would have picked the Buccaneers had I known a couple of roster moves were going to happen. Like Chuba Hubbard was ruled out on Saturday. Panthers put him on injured reserve. He's obviously been like the focal point of their offense. So there's that. Also, too, I didn't realize it was a game day activation, but when the Buccaneers activated the duck to the 53-man game day roster, I was like, oh, crap. Okay, now it's on, And interestingly enough, the duck distracted the Carolina Panthers and allowed Joe Tryon-Shoyinka to block a punt, and J.J. Russell returned for a touchdown. So had I known those two key roster moves would have
absolutely
probably would have changed my pick and my prediction. But yeah, hats off to the Bucs. The only team that can stop this team right now is themselves, right? We've seen now when the Buccaneers do one of two things, good things happen, and those good things are W's. The first is don't turn the ball over. If the Buccaneers don't turn the ball over and they don't have those untimely drive-killing penalties, then it's doomsday for opponents, because you can pencil in 30 points plus with this Liam Cohen offensive attack. The other thing is when we've seen, like, take the Raiders game, for example, even though the Raiders were a lesser opponent, they had a higher turnover ratio than the Buccaneers did in that game. The turnover differential was 3-2, right? The Raiders forced 3 turnovers, but the Bucs defense came through with 2 takeaways. And that was enough to offset those 2 turnovers by Tampa Bay and put up a 15-point win against a lesser team. We saw in Dallas, where Tim was, when the Bucs turn the ball over 3 times and there's no takeaways on the other side of the ball, you lose, right? And so it becomes imperative for this Buccaneer offense to either not turn the ball over, or perhaps more importantly, I don't know, maybe the defense could get some more takeaways, because that's something they have not done well this year. And the Buccaneers enter the playoffs, if they make the playoffs, by beating the Saints, and they should.
Right.
They will be the worst team in the NFC out of all the teams in terms of turnover differential at -4. To put that in perspective, the Bills lead the entire league at +23, which is absurd. The top team in the NFC is the Packers at +12, and then you've got a couple of other teams that are +11. Let's see, the Packers are +12. The Vikings and the Eagles are +10. Detroit is +9. The Rams are +7. Even Washington is +2. Then you have Tampa Bay at -4, which means they've given the ball away 4 more times than they've taken it away. And then you look at the Packers. They have taken it away 12 times more than they've given it away. And turnovers are a huge part of the game, obviously, every week. But you can overcome that against lesser foes. But even like a team like Dallas, turn the ball over 3 times, you're going to lose. So that's the Achilles heel for the Buccaneers moving forward. If they get into the playoffs, the defense is going to have to come up with some takeaways to limit some of those giveaways that Baker Mayfield might, decide to dish out. Or just Tampa Bay has to play perfect, and that's really hard to do against playoff caliber defenses in January.
Right. Any thoughts on Shaq Barrett being able to contribute against the Saints? Is that the plan for this week?
Yeah, I think he already has, Tim. Just to spend a minute on this, you go back to 2002, and JP remembers this.
Yep.
The Buccaneers signed Lomas Brown, who was an old Florida Gator offensive tackle for the New York Giants, right? And he was too old to play. He was the swing tackle. They didn't even need him. They signed Roman Oben, the left tackle, out of the Giants to play left tackle, and they kicked Kenyatta Walker. He was kind of a first-round bust. They kicked him to right tackle, and he played better there because the pressure wasn't on to be that protector, that blindside blocker for Brad Johnson. And Kenyatta Walker was mentored by Lomas Brown, Gator to Gator, right? And Lomas was there solely for the purpose, and you can ask him, you can ask John Gruden, to just bring this kid along, to unlock some of the potential that Kenyatta Walker had and lift him up and say, dude, you can play this game. It might not be left tackle. You can play right tackle, help this team win. And he did that. That was his role. I don't know, guys. We saw 5 sacks from this Bucs defense. A lot of young guys. Logan Hall, Chris Braswell, Yaya Diaby, Kalijah Kancey. Old man Anthony Nelson had a sack. But we saw, I think, Shaq Barrett's presence alone, the smile, the energy that he brings, even if that's his role, even if he doesn't suit up for a game, having him in the building, encouraging guys, giving them tips, just his presence, his aura alone can help this team. And I think it already kind of did. But yeah, if they can get something, from him, a couple pressures on pass rush situations, obvious 3rd and longs, whatever, yeah, I'm all for it.
Very good.
Scott, I think you're spot on with that Shaq Barrett analysis and Lomas Brown. I think babysitter was the word you were looking for Kenyatta.
Yeah.
As we recall. But it worked. No, it was a stroke of genius. So, and I'd love your take on the turnovers. And, and Baker's going to be that guy. He's a bit of a gunslinger. You get the good and the bad, right? So we're okay with that. We have 5 touchdown passes. I thought he took care of the ball much better this past weekend.
Yeah.
But your frustration and my frustration is the same. It's with this defense.
Yeah.
I mean, a perfect example, Bryce Young back the pass, gets pressured and throws up a wounded duck that any high school team and what happens on the other end, the safety is running towards the receiver, not even looking at the quarterback, not even looking at the ball. Same with the cornerback. And it's like, what are they doing? Like, what, as Todd Bowles eloquently put it as he walked off at halftime, our defensive backs have to get their head out of their ass.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know what technique this is. Like, stay away from the ball. Do not attack the ball at any point. I mean, I know it's a new technique. I'm unfamiliar with it. But I know this. It doesn't produce very many interceptions. I mean, this defensive backfield.
Seven.
I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. It's
Good
bad
thoughts.
coaching, JP. It's bad coaching.
Yeah.
And you've seen, and I give credit to Josh Capo, my counterpart here at Pewter Report. He said, if you look across the board, every single player except for one has truly gotten better from last year. Every single offensive player except for one has gotten better. And that one player is Trey Palmer. He's no longer the number 3 receiver. He might be number 5 or 6 on the depth chart, really. I don't think he's going to be around much longer. He's just kind of like a guy. He's not special. Rachaad White is a better player this year. He's a more urgent runner. His yards per carry speak to that. The statistics have declined only because of the emergence of Bucky Irving, right? But even he has gotten better. But you look across the board, Payne Durham, Cade Otton, the entire offensive line, even Tristan Wirfs having probably his best year, even though he's been hurt. Baker Mayfield has leveled up. Mike Evans, more touchdowns this year than last year. He would have had probably 1,400 yards, if not for the hamstring injury, right? Chris Godwin was off to a meteoric start. So that shows you that coaching matters. Good coaching, and they brought in all these new offensive assistants. The lone holdover, Skip Pete, and he has done a great job with Bucky Irving, great job with Rachaad. We've seen Sean Tucker go from not even sniffing the field last year to making impact plays when he's out there as the 3rd-string running back. Coaching matters. These are younger offensive coaches. They can relate better to today's players. Some of these guys come from college, so they have direct lines to 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old guys, right? And they're full of ideas. It's a collaborative process. It's not Todd Bowles sitting on the throne, dictating what they're going to do with a bunch of yes men that are, I don't want to use the term cronies in a bad way, but he played at Temple with Kevin Ross, the cornerbacks coach. Nick Rapone, the safeties coach, was his position coach at Temple, right? Casey Rogers is his best friend, and I think Casey's a really good coach. But there's some other coaches that need to go. George Edwards, I think, is terrible. I mean, look at the outside linebackers. These guys can't buy sacks. They can't bribe offensive tackles to like, hey, can I get by you to sack the quarterback? I don't even have like 3 or 4 in the year. So coaching matters. They need to do on the defensive side what they did on the offensive side. Bring in young, fresh coaching talent with new ideas that are more relatable, that can unlock the potential of Zion McCollum, who I still think has a ways to go to get better. That can get Antoine Winfield Jr. and Jordan Whitehead back on track, and take Yaya Diaby and Chris Braswell and Jose Ramirez, those young guys, and have their games level up. Because right now, it's the defense that's holding this unit back, and I blame the coaches as much as I do the players.
Yeah, we've had George Edwards on the Cowboy staff here twice. He was here in the late 90s and then here just before, obviously, he came from Dallas to Tampa. How much do you think you talked about Rachaad White and Bucky Irving? How much do you think the emergence of Bucky Irving has helped push Rachaad White a little bit to be a little bit better, right? Huge. Like last year, he didn't really have any of this.
No, you saw it in Liam Cohen's press conference before the OTAs. We talked about I remember either I asked the question or I really dialed into the question, but we were talking about running backs, and he said he wants them to run with a sense of urgency, like they are shot out of a cannon, run to and through the hole. And if you watch that Oregon tape of Bucky Irving, that's exactly what he does. Bucky gets to top speed through the hole. He just doesn't have that extra gear. That's why we've seen some of these 30 and 40 and 50-yard runs not become 70-yard runs where they're breakaway touchdowns, right? He does get caught from behind, and that's okay because a 30-yard run in the NFL is massive. And that was kind of my thinking. It's like, this is going to help Rachaad White because Skip Pete, Liam Cohen in training camp, they can sit there and when they see Rachaad White tiptoe through the hole and be a little hesitant like he was last year in training camp, they can swap him out, put Bucky Irving in, and say, Rachaad, stand right here next to me. We're going to hand the ball off to Bucky here and watch this kid get through the hole. And it's like, boom, like lightning. And then say, that's what it should look like. That's what we need you to do, right? And I think it's worked. You see that in the average going up from 3.7 to, 4.5 or so. So it's gotten better for him. And yes, the offensive line's blocking better. Yes, Liam Cohen's scheme is better suited to the talents of these backs, and it's marrying the run and the pass exceptionally well. But yeah, I agree with him. Having Bucky Irving there as the guy to say, that's what it's supposed to look like, Rachaad, it has helped him become a better back. There's no doubt.
Well, and Bucky's over 1,000 yards as primarily a backup. That's just kind of showing Rachaad too. I mean, I know that the Bucky gets the majority of the carries, I think, nowadays, obviously, but it's showing Rachaad White, look, this is what we can do. And I think they work great as a tandem.
I do.
Like, there's no reason to not keep that going.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield had that luxury of a backfield too, with Nick Chubb more in his prime, along with Kareem Hunt in his prime, right? That was a 1-2 punch that helped Cleveland get to the playoffs and beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh in 2020. I mean, that was a magical year in Cleveland. Baker had his best year.
Right.
The only team that they lost to in the playoffs happened to be, I don't know, the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. That's a tough team to beat in the playoffs, as the Bills, as the Ravens. And it was that Kansas City Chiefs team that lost to Tampa Bay eventually in the Super Bowl. So Baker Mayfield has seen what a 1-2 punch at running back can do. It takes some pressure off of his game.
Right.
He doesn't have to put the entire, playbook on his right arm and have to go out there and win every single play. The easiest and best thing a quarterback can do sometimes is turn around and hand the ball off. And you've got a stable of backs in Tampa Bay that really are the envy of the league, not just with Bucky and Rachaad, but also Sean Tucker too. I mean, there's a lot of teams that would love to have Sean Tucker as a number 2, maybe even as a starter. It's an embarrassment of riches here in Tampa Bay at the running back position.
Yeah, I think we lost JP. I think he might have started getting some rain over at Ray.
It looks like it,
he took some cover before
well,
he dove
he's
in.
soft.
Scott,
I mean, we can say it. He's not here, but he's soft. He melts. I don't want to say he's a snowflake because he's in Florida and there's no snow in Florida, but he's soft, and we can say that now because he's not here to hear us.
Maybe he can't defend himself. He can't defend himself.
That's the key.
He can hear us. He can't defend himself.
Tim,
I can hear you,
JP. We don't need you.
I can hear you.
Oh, hey, JP, how are you? Hi.
Yeah, you're damn right.
The graphic to the Tim show. That's JP.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, we had a sun shower, absolutely, and I had to go find cover. You look at this moisturized face cannot handle a lot of that.
Well, Tim was just saying that you were soft because of the rain, and I was like, "Come on, you can't do that to him." Tim.
Oh, I heard the whole thing. And I couldn't agree more.
Right.
And I couldn't agree more. Actually, I could not agree more. I think you're spot on.
If we were good friends, I wouldn't embarrass you on your own show, but we are. So
right. Just off the air.
Yeah.
Guys,
before we let you go, favorite sports moment of 2024? Do you have one? Doesn't have to be Bucks related. It can be anything.
Favorite sports moment of 2024? That's a good one, boy.
Got to be Kansas State related.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, you come up with something K-State.
Yeah,
Didn't you guys have a big basketball win like over Kansas or something?
That's always fun. Yeah, that's always near or at the top. Yeah, I think that's probably there. I would just say, because I'm a defensive-minded guy, and you know this from my conversations here, I love defense. To me, I have appreciated the genius and the brilliance of Liam Cohen, and I'll credit Todd Bowles for this. Not only just hiring Liam Cohen, Todd and I had a pre-training camp interview, and this wasn't off the record. He told me, and I wrote about it in SR's Fab 5 back in July before training camp started. I said Liam Cohen's offense is going to be a huge upgrade over Dave Canales, and it proved to be. I mean, they're scoring 8 points more per game. So I would say as a defensive aficionado, to see and appreciate the brilliance of Liam Cohen has probably been the highlight of me covering the team this year, just to keep it kind of Bucks related.
Yeah.
What he's doing, I mean, and I just tweeted this out today, or X'd it out, or whatever you call it. How many times, even when this team was scoring 30 points per game under Byron Leftwich, or showing signs of progress last year towards the end of the season, scoring 30 points per game under Dave Canales, how many times were we able to guess what was going to happen? Ooh, a wide receiver screen to Chris Godwin coming here. Ooh, it's a first down run between the tackles here. We don't know what Liam Cohen's going to do. And guess what? Neither do opposing defenses or defensive coordinators. They don't know, because no single game is the same. There's not a blueprint on this guy. There's no keys or tells to really stop this offense. And you look, even without Mike and Chris, this team, this offense, has only scored fewer than 20 points one time. That was week 3 against the Denver Broncos. So it's been the masterful skill with which he has called plays that I truly have been in awe of and amazed by. Right. And I have a greater appreciation for offense now. I still believe defense wins championships. Go back to both of the Bucs Super Bowls when the offenses put up a crap ton of points, but it was the defenses that won both of those. It was the pick sixes in the first Super Bowl for the Bucs. It was holding Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes out of the end zone in the second one. Yeah, their offenses were scoring points, but it was the defense that won those games. So I appreciate that. But Liam Cohen has made me, kind of an offensive guy now too. That's truly offensive.
Very good.
I love it. Yeah, and I would, mine would definitely be that win right here over the Eagles. I mean, there haven't been many home playoff wins in Buccaneers history, and that was probably the most. That was the most. Next to the Super Bowl in this stadium, I think that was one of the proudest moments in Buccaneer history. So
it was
that
electric.
was one hell.
No doubt.
Yeah, no Eagles fans in these stands for that game. That was fantastic. Well, Scotty, listen, Happy New Year to your partner, to you and Ashley, and your whole family. Thank you so much for coming on with us each and every week. You're an absolutely valuable member of our team. We really appreciate you and all the guys at Peter Report.
But listen, I can't come on anymore this year. We've kind of reached the quota. So my last appearance for 2024.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Yes. All right, partner. Thanks, buddy.
Next year, and we'll see.
2025 is going to be a huge year for us, no doubt. Thanks, partner. Appreciate it.
Take care, guys. Happy
All right, Jimmy, I think we got another port of call when we come back from the break, right?
Yeah, we can have Scott Hamilton. He's ready for us on the other side as soon as we come back from break to preview the Citrus Bowl live from Orlando.
Yeah, we're just taking you everywhere. All right, we'll be back to All Points College Football Bowl game right after this on the JP Peterson Show, FanStream Sports Network.
Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results, whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all. It's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show live from the ReliaQuest Bowl here. See behind me, the teams are warming up. Alabama's here. There's the former SEC and national champions. I think it's been almost 5 years since they've won a national championship, but obviously they were in the playoff last year, just barely missing the playoff this year. I mean, you look at this Alabama team, and it's nothing but NFL bodies. So Tim Ham is back in our Dallas studio. High tide. All right, is Scotty with us? Bring him in.
Scotty is with us.
All right, there we go. What's up, Scotty? How are you?
I'm well. I'm getting ready to Camping World Stadium for the Citrus Bowl.
Getting ready for the Citrus Bowl. I'm going to have to mute JP. We're having trouble hearing you a little bit.
Okay.
There we go.
Tell JP he can go on about his business.
He's out there watching the Alabama cheerleader we interviewed earlier.
Oh.
I mean, we all were, for sure.
That's the content we need, Tim.
It is. That's what we do on FanStream Sports. Scott, you've got South Carolina and Illinois out there at the Citrus Bowl. Was it Camping World Stadium? That's still what it's called out there? I can't keep up with stadium names anymore.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. SEC Big Ten matchup. Two teams on a little bit of a heater. At least, Illinois comes in having won 3 in a row. South Carolina's won 6 in a row. Something's got to give. I'm actually really excited for this game. I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup.
A lot of people thought South Carolina belonged in the 12-team college football playoff. I wasn't one of those. Where do you stand on that? And does Illinois stand a chance? Are there opt-outs here that are going to affect everybody? What are we looking at?
To your first question, your first point, I don't think they should have been in, but the caveat to that is, had they gotten in, I think they would have had success. They lost their opportunities to get into the playoff.
Right.
When they lost to Alabama by 2 points, when they were hypnotized by Ole Miss,
right.
Flag Fest against LSU, all that. That being said, though, if they had gotten in, I think they would. They were the hottest team in America, still the hottest team in America.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah.
I think they would have really made an impact. And I'm curious to see. It's been exactly 31 days since they played Clemson. That was their last game.
Yeah.
Has the momentum abated, or have they figured out a way to bottle it and pop it out now? So it's going to be interesting. Opt-outs. Kyle Kennard.
Raheem Sanders.
Rocket Sanders is out.
Yeah.
And the name escapes me. The wide receiver for Illinois, really good player, NFL future. He has opted out. But other than that, I mean, when you consider the grand scheme of things, where we are college football 2024, that's not too bad, Jimmy.
No, yeah, you're right. Pat Bryant has declared for the NFL draft, so he will not be there. But you have largely the two teams that played the majority of the season intact for the bowl game, which is kind of a rarity, across the college football landscape these days. I haven't seen lines on this game. I'm guessing South Carolina's favored by 2 or 3 points.
No, the last I saw was 9.5.
Oh, that much. Oh, wow.
9.5.
Okay.
And fun fact, and our friend JP should have schooled me on this. You can only gamble on one app in Florida, the Hard Rock app.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know why, right? Because it's owned by the Seminole Indians, and that's how the state is set up. Yeah, it's Seminoles only.
I'm kind of sideways. Not that I can do it in South Carolina. Can't gamble there. North Carolina, I can go crazy. But I'm like, man, I might have wanted to put down a few bets. So
the Illini are coming off probably their best season since 2007 when they went to the Rose Bowl last, I think, right?
Yeah, they haven't had a 10-win season since they won the Big Ten back in 2001.
Good grief.
It's been a while. Let me fact check that while you're talking.
No, please do. I believe they also mixed in 9 straight losing seasons recently. It's the second bowl in just 4 years. Who's that? But the head coach is escaping me. The Illinois head coach is. Yes. Was it Arkansas right before that? And he played in a couple of bowl games.
And before that, he was at Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. You got to say it right down here. Wisconsin.
Love Wisconsin. Wisconsin. Love that state. Did you watch Making a Murderer? Watch Making a Murderer on Netflix. It's great.
Oh, about what's it? Yeah, I think everybody watched that, right? I didn't watch that.
It's better than Tiger King.
I never watched that either, to be honest with you. I don't have time. I don't have time for crap like that. I'm busy watching sports.
12 kids, 18 jobs.
I'm busy watching sports 24/7 so I can talk about it semi-intelligently and write about it semi-intelligently.
See, I don't. I've been binge watching Curb Your Enthusiasm.
See, I never finished that. I mean, I watched it when it was on a little bit, but I didn't have HBO when Curb was on, so I'm having to catch up.
You have it now?
I mean, I have Max, so I guess I could probably watch it, right?
You're good. Yeah, you should get 2 episodes in a day. You'll get caught up.
I feel like I've seen all the episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm when it was on TV the first time when it was called Seinfeld.
No, very different. Very different.
It's the same show.
No, it's not. It's not the same show. It's totally not the same show. JB Smoove.
I don't know what that means.
That's a guy. It's a person.
There's no person named JB Smoove.
Yes, he plays Leon Black on the show. He's Larry's roommate. You bailed early in the show, man.
That is his birth name?
I don't know if it's his birth name. Let me look that up. But he is funny.
I don't know who that is. I guess I'm going to have
to.
Okay.
His real name is Jerry Angelo Brooks.
Oh, see, now him I know. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea who that is.
North Carolinian from Plymouth, North Carolina. There you go. Dude, you gotta watch it.
So back to football, if that's possible at this point, without JP here to keep us out of the ditch. Gamecocks, big success under Shane Beamer in his 3rd bowl game in 4 years.
Yeah.
How long till Beamer bolts for a better program?
What would be better?
Anywhere other than South Carolina?
He's making a crap load of money.
Is he?
Yeah, he's doing well.
Where do they get their money from?
They've got cash. They've got more cash than you think. And they've got the new athletic director coming in from TCU. Jeremiah Denali. And
we're not going to miss him.
Well, I'm very bullish on the program. I really am. It's an SEC program. So you don't leave. You don't leave unless it's another SEC job or it's a Big Ten job. You just don't do it. You don't go take an ACC job. You're not going to go to the Big 12. You're not going to do that. And I just think he's cooking, man. And so it's not far from where he grew up. I mean, he's straight down the road. I think he's in for the long haul unless something drastic happens. And I literally just wrote this sentence. I'm trying to get a jump on tomorrow's column. Anything can happen from one year to the next. I mean, look at Florida State. Imagine if 2023 Florida State was looking at 2024 Florida State in the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
What would be the reaction? And it could happen. But I think he's cracked the code when it's come to working the portal and balancing out with high school recruits. And I really like watching him develop as a head coach.
So, for instance, tomorrow we have the Rose Bowl game, which many think is the national championship game. I don't know. I didn't design the brackets. I'm okay with who made the 12-team playoff. I don't like the way they organize the brackets where now you have Illinois and Ohio State playing in the second round in the same bracket. I don't like that at all. But tomorrow, when Oregon, and we're about to have Tito on to talk Ohio State here after you, and he won't like this, but when Oregon absolutely rolls Ohio State tomorrow at the Rose Bowl and Ryan Day gets fired the next day, Shane Beamer's name's going to come up and be on the short list for Ohio State. Is that a job he's going to take?
No, and his name will not be on the short list for that job.
He's on my short list.
Well, we're not going to talk about your short list.
Lots of short things.
I'm not going to address that either. This is a classy program. No, but I don't think – he's not going to be on that job. That would be like – I don't know. He's such a family guy.
Yeah.
He's cooking on his own terms where he is. You go to Ohio State, you got to be built different. You got to be an a-hole. Ryan Day's not an a-hole. You got to be an a-hole. You got to be Herb.
That's why I can't make it.
That's why Herb cooked there.
Yeah.
Because he's an a-hole. I lived there, dude. I worked in Columbus. I know my mother went to Ohio State. I know the temperature there, man. And they're not going to fire him. They're not going to fire him.
I don't think they will either.
40. He's not going to get fired. Now, if he values his mental health,
he'll leave.
Go take an NFL job.
That's not any better.
Oh, I think it's way better.
Depends on where you go.
Well, everything comes around, though. Everything comes around. The NFL is so cyclical that unless you end up in Carolina, you're going to have an opportunity more than likely to get things really going because the NFL, more than anything, wants parity, and you will get your chance if you're good. If you're good, we could go back to the Jim Harbaugh born on third base stuff. Is that what Ryan Day is? Is he a good coach?
Yeah. Right. Or is he just coaching a good team?
A good program that's built that can't fail. It's like one of those big companies back in the recession. Too big to fail.
Yeah. Well, and I would argue that not every – you mentioned Carolina. I would argue there's other NFL coaching jobs guys like him should stay away from in Chicago, the New York Jets, probably the Patriots at this point, where you're going to fail no matter how good you are. I don't think it matters how good you are.
There's a different degree of failage, though, with David Tepper, man.
That's true. That ownership, I don't know. Maybe we'll throw Dallas into that mix. I don't want to work for the Joneses, but just ask Mike McCarthy. You're doomed for failure. So you have any predictions for today's game? Kickoff at 2 o'clock Eastern? 3 o'clock Eastern.
I really don't. I'm just curious to see how Lenore Sellers does because if he has a big day, maybe your Heisman Trophy frontrunner going into next year. So there's a lot on the line with that. It would be a 10-win season for both teams. Keep an eye on things. Mike Shula is calling the plays. He's the new offensive coordinator, so he'll be calling the plays. Dow Loggins is now the head coach at Appalachian State, so keep an eye on that. But otherwise, man, I'm just stoked for college football.
We still have Shulas in the coaching trees, huh?
They still are out there, man. You can't get rid of them.
Is there anyone other than Mike? I don't know who all the brothers and sons were. Well, I know David, but he's not coaching anymore, right?
Yeah, I think he's on the same beach with Tommy Bowden.
Then that's right where they belong. Scott, what's your favorite sports moment of 2024 as we close things out here on a Tuesday?
I thought about this, and I can't give you a singular moment. I mean, we had a year with the Olympics. I really dug the plurality of the golf season with Scotty Scheffler and Xander Schauffele. We were ready to give the trophy to Scotty Scheffler, and then you have Xander go on a Scheffler-like tear. You had that. I love the College World Series. The whole NCAA tournament was amazing. Watching Clemson make a run to the Elite Eight in basketball, giving my connection with Brad Brownell. So I can't put my finger on one thing, Tim. I can't. But I will say I hope 2025 is as interesting as 2024 was.
You know what? That answer is such a cop-out. You know who that reminds me of, Scott? That reminds me of Johnny Gerber. When he comes on the Colby Sapp and IndyCar Tim show and we do our segment of hypotheticals, and I ask Johnny, would you rather be born with a lobster claw or a baby arm that doesn't grow as you grow into adulthood? You have to have one of those. And you know what he always says?
What?
Pass. I pass.
Claw. I want the claw all day. I will give you a moment. Okay, I'll give you a moment. Vanderbilt beating Alabama.
Okay, there you go. That's a good one.
I also went to Army Navy though, and that blew my mind. The game wasn't great, but
See,
the atmosphere was unbelievable.
I've never been to an Army Navy game, and that is on my short bucket list of things I have yet to do in sports.
It was my first.
I wish I could have gone and saw it at the Vet though. I hated the Vet, but I would have loved to have seen that at the Vet.
Can't go now, but
no, I know.
We got the national championship coming up. I'll be at that, so I'll be able to get rid of that in a couple weeks. So
are we going to get a live report from you?
Well, I was supposed to be a weekly hit with my own theme song. I don't know what happened.
Well, you wouldn't like the theme song I came up with for you.
No. I would provide the theme song. Something by Luther Vandross or Peebo Bryson.
So is it going to be similar to the Scott Hamilton show that for some reason we inexplicably quit doing on FanStream Sports, and it's going to have an intro from the other Scott Hamilton?
Funny you should mention that. I think we might be ready to get that back up and running.
Well, we're ready for sure. We're ready for sure. So
I gotta go.
Yep, you got work today, don't you?
I'm looking at our boy there. Look at him. He's got his little microphone.
He's doing good over there. He's doing great. All right, Scott, we appreciate you very much. Have fun over there at that Citrus Bowl. Happy New Year to you. Be good.
Happy New Year. Be safe, brother.
All right, we'll see you. There he is, the great Scott Hamilton. JP, you are still muted. If you can unmute yourself.
There we go. Tell Scott. I was trying to tell Scotty, thank you. It's getting crazy here now. I'll tell you what, this place is going to be packed. If you do a little pan here, Scotty. I mean, there's already fans filling up, and the upper decks as well. I mean, this is going to be absolutely packed. And I mean, obviously, Alabama and Michigan, these fans travel, but they've been in much bigger games. You wouldn't think that it would be that big of a deal for these fan bases, but it is. Every time these teams play, and a chance to come to Tampa for the winter, where it's freaking. I mean, up in Michigan, it's blanketed in snow, right? Absolutely. In Alabama, look, these folks travel for football. It's just what they do. I mean, it's one of the greatest, not only college franchises, and I think we can call them franchises now.
Sure, yeah, you can.
And I mean, just in terms of brands and all of sports, I mean, Alabama, if you put all the professional teams in as well, it would definitely be in I dare say in the top 10, especially in what they generate in terms of revenue. I mean, it's insane. 100,000 people in that stadium every 8 games a year. It's incredible, and this is a rabid fan base. They're all here having a good time. The economic impact of this bowl game with Michigan and Alabama here is incredible. I mean, it's big time, and that's why the ReliaQuest Bowl, the Gasparilla Bowl are so important. Florida was here last week. They didn't fill up the upper deck, but it was a great crowd. You get people staying in the hotel rooms. The hotel rooms are packed all over the city. The great gala last Sunday night, Gridiron Gala that the ReliaQuest Bowl puts on each and every year. And thanks to ReliaQuest, by the way, Brian Murphy, their CEO, great dude, locally based company that picked up the mantle from Outback, friend of the show, that picked up the Outback sponsorship that was here for so many years with Bob Basham, Chris Sullivan. So, I mean, it's really a locally based, and all of the board of directors here, so many of these guys and ladies have been big parts of the local landscape. So this is a huge moment for them as well to have these two teams here and these two fan bases here. So,
well, great. Let's take our last break. We got Tito waiting in the wings to talk some Ohio. I almost said Ohio State. He probably would have killed me. Ohio State, Oregon, out at the Rose Bowl tomorrow.
Maybe the de facto national championship game.
I mean, that's kind of what we think, right?
Maybe, yeah. It's weird how it's set up, but
that's what it
is. We'll come back here for one more segment. We'll get Tito in, and we'll wrap things up on the J.P. Peterson Show. Historic J.P. Peterson Show here live. First time from the sidelines of a bowl game. How cool is this? Back in 3.
Hey, Tampa Bay sports fans. This is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Hey, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There's been a lot of talk about lab-grown diamonds. Oh, they're just like the real thing. No, they're not. They're not the real thing. They're lab-grown. They're fake. You want to give your honey a fake diamond? Not a good way to start off the relationship, folks. Take my word for it. Get the real thing, and no place better to shop than the Gold and Diamond Source. And remember, if you shop anywhere else, you don't know if it's real. You don't know what you're buying. The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for over 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors in our community. You know it's real. It's the only place to shop. And if you're planning to purchase for the holidays, don't forget to take advantage of our layaway offer at the Gold and Diamond Source. You can reserve your favorite piece now and pay in easy installments, making your holiday shopping stress-free. As always, we offer up to 5 years interest-free financing for just $84 a month when you finance $5,000. It's the only place to shop for the holidays. It's the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We're live from the sidelines at the ReliaQuest Bowl as Michigan and Alabama get set to kick off here. Two of the winningest programs in the history of college football. Alabama, a 16-point favorite at last check. That's where my money went anyway.
Yikes.
I said at the top of the show, Michigan's got a few opt-outs, mostly on the defensive line. In fact, I think their entire defensive line that started against Ohio State will not be playing today. So they've got quite a few guys that will not be playing, either injuries or opt-outs, whereas Alabama, I think, is full go. Jalen Milroe, they've got 3 or 4 first-round picks, first or second-round picks that will all be playing. So credit to Alabama. They've got it going on. They got it going on. Great culture. Great culture. Great culture.
All right, let's bring in Tito, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
The great Tito, there he is.
Jeff Thinoff, what's going on?
How you do? Are those overcast skies there? Is it going to rain?
We got a little shower. I had to take cover. I had to take cover for a little bit. Yeah. Soft.
I like Alabama laying the points too. I'm with you on that one. I'm in the same ballpark as you.
I don't know how Michigan stops that offense. Jalen Milroe's gonna, you got a prop bet. I would say he's probably run for about 150 yards and 2 touchdowns today. I think that's a pretty good bet. And Michigan can't throw the football. They cannot throw the football. How the hell do you beat Ohio State not throwing the football?
Ohio State beat themselves. Ohio State had a terrible game plan. They kept running the ball right into the heart of Michigan's defense. That's what did it. And they were smarter against Tennessee. They did a lot of motion. They did a lot of gap running. They were much smarter against Tennessee.
I asked you to figure out what your favorite sports moment of 2024 was. And you mentioned Shohei Ohtani. Which Shohei Ohtani instance are you referring to?
His game, the Shohei Ohtani game, where he went to 50-50, and it was a monster game for him. Put up numbers no one's ever put up in games. So Ohtani does things like that. He had the 50-50 season is amazing.
So I am presenting. I have my top 6. We've gone through 3 of them. This was number 2 for me on the list.
Ohtani
Sends
one in the air. The other way. Back it goes. Gone.
How about them apples?
One-of-a-kind player. One-of-a-kind season. Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
And I will tell you this. There may not be a more baseball historian, fan of baseball history than me. Like it's my favorite. It's my second favorite sport, very closely behind hockey. But as far as the history of the game goes, it's my passion. All right. Babe Ruth, long time been considered the greatest baseball player of all time. There's no question. I now consider Shohei Ohtani to be the greatest baseball player of all time. I put him in front of Ruth on my list.
It's incredible what he's been able to do. And it's Ruth obviously did things. Ruth was doing things every year. Was like, oh, Babe Ruth's the first person to do this. Babe Ruth's the first person to do, and now Ohtani's doing that. He's the first person to do this. And it's incredible with all the pressure, the media spotlight, and all that. Look, the Dodgers are a great team. He's got a lot of protection around him in the lineup, but nonetheless, and if he starts pitching again next year, which looks like he will be, that just increases even more what he can do. It's unbelievable. We are watching the greatest player of all time. I agree with you.
Yeah. Moving on to the Rose Bowl tomorrow, and apparently you're not going to be there, huh?
No, not going to be there. I
didn't get our first class ticket that we sent to you.
I missed that one. I was going to say I kind of blame you and Gerber for that one, the fact I'm not at the game, but that's okay. I will be watching the game in the comfort of my friend's home with the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day party.
Right.
Hopefully not too hungover by 5:00 tomorrow night.
Gerb texted me yesterday. He's like, "Hey, get ready. Let's do a golf show on Wednesday." I'm like,
"Go to hell."
Wait, Wednesday? I'm not going to be awake. He said, "Well, you better be." So, Tito, looking at the game, second time these two teams have matched each other, a little bit more on the line this time around. Why is this game going to be any different than the last time they played?
Because I think Ohio State's defense has been off the charts since that Oregon game where they gave up 32 points. You would think if Ohio State scores 31, they should win the game. And Ohio State had plenty of chances to win that game. They shot themselves in the foot. There was a kind of a weird offensive pass interference call on Jeremiah Smith at the end. I think that Will Howard slid with a second left, and they probably should have given him a chance to call timeout, but the fans rushed the field. They didn't do it.
Right.
So that's not taking away from Oregon did. Oregon won the game by 1 point at home. Great atmosphere and all of that. But Ohio State, their offensive line is certainly in flux. They lost Josh Simmons in that game for the season. He's a first-round pick in all likelihood in the upcoming draft. Seth McLaughlin now, the Remington Award winner, the center, he is also out this game. Ohio State's had to shuffle the offensive line. And that's where this game's going to be won or lost, Tim, on both sides of the ball.
Right.
If Ohio State got nothing on Dylan Gabriel, no pressure whatsoever last time, if they can put pressure on Dylan Gabriel, that changes the aspect of this game. And likewise, the offensive line, with how much they've had to change things around, if they can prevent Oregon from getting to Will Howard, that will change things as well. So it's going to be in the trenches on both sides of the ball here. Oregon's got 3 all Big Ten defensive linemen. And so they're going to try to pressure Howard. If the Ohio State running game can get going, if they can be smart like they did in the play calling. And I do believe Chip Kelly on the offensive side and Jim Knowles on the defensive side are both smart enough to make these adjustments going into this game. And they've been good at making adjustments all year long. The Michigan game was a debacle, no doubt about it. But I think that they righted the wrong in Tennessee, and they found it out against Tennessee where they figured out, get the ball out to Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith, by the way, came out and said, Oregon, if you try to cover me man-to-man, we're going to throw it to me every time.
And there's no doubt that Oregon's run defense is questionable. Penn State put darn near 300 yards up against them in the Big Ten championship game. I think their rushing defense is ranked in the 50s or 60s nationally. So there's certainly vulnerabilities there for Ohio State, like you said. Quinshon Judkins could hypothetically go nuts.
Sure.
Which I think will be the key to the game. Now, Ohio State's had issues, though, with Will Hammond not necessarily being consistent this year.
Will Howard's had his moments. He's been.
Oh, I said Hammond.
I know you said Will.
I'm getting the Texas Tech.
Your brother.
I'm getting the Texas Tech freshman quarterback mixed up with Will Howard, the other guy. So, So Howard's certainly been inconsistent this season, and it's going to take maybe not a perfect game from him against Oregon, but he's got to be mistake free.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, not necessarily perfect, but mistake free. No, he's had a couple of really bad turnovers this year. The one against Penn State, the pick six early on, and then also the 2 picks against Michigan. Bad looks for him, no doubt about it. But he's got the confidence, he's got the swagger, and I think that as long as Chip Kelly calls the right game and gets the ball to Jeremiah Smith's got to get the ball a lot. And you got him, Mecca Ibuka, and you got Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate's the number 3. Ibuka said, no, we're all number 1s. Tate's been great lately. And so if they can get the ball to those guys in space, good things will happen for Ohio State. And that's going to be the key, is to put Will Howard in a position where he can do that. By the way, Will Howard's 6'5" and like 235. Run the ball with him if you have to. That's the difference. Everyone talked about Kyle McCord, the great year he had at Syracuse. And Kyle McCord had a wonderful year at Syracuse. He is now the all-time single-season passing leader in ACC history. That's great. But he would not have done, he passed Deshaun Watson. He would not have done that, though, at Ohio State this year. Right. I like Will Howard's mobility. I think that he is going to make great decisions, and I feel like Ohio State in this game, these are the 2 most talented teams. I think Ohio State is the better team. If the play calling goes right, if they can put pressure on Dylan Gabriel, which they did not do the last game, if they can do that, then I think Ohio State wins.
What about the Howard to Jeremiah Smith connection? I kind of feel like Ohio State's got to get Smith involved early through the air, kind of maybe take some of the pressure off that running game so that can open that up for later in the game. But again, it's going to take Howard being able to do that and not throwing an early pick or making a bad decision early on. But, Jeremiah Smith, the best wide receiver in the country, right? I mean, there's no question about that at this point, very early in his collegiate career. But if they could get the Howard to Smith connection going early, it doesn't even have to be deep balls. That'll put a lot of pressure on the Oregon defense, I think, and it could flip the score from what we had last time around.
Jeremiah Smith has 1 drop this year, and it was on the first pass he was thrown to in the opening game. It was a quick one, and he dropped it. And I think Ohio State will try to do that early. Quick passes, Jeremiah Smith early to get him involved. And if he gets in space, the way he runs, it's like a gazelle. He's like it reminds me of, and I caught hell from DeVere Posey for comparing him to Ted Ginn. But I said that when you watch Jeremiah Smith run, he's got such long strides. You see guys behind him with really quick legs, and he's like, longer strides. He's going away from everybody. Get the ball to Smith early on. That is going to be a key. Also, yes, to open up the running game. And then Quinshon Judkins, Travion Henderson, they have benefited so much this year from each other being there, because the last couple of years, Quinshon Judkins at Ole Miss had so many carries. It was like an NFL type workload. He's got about half that this year. And Travion, who's battled injuries, he's got about half what he normally has, and they're fresh. And with what could be, hopefully for Ohio State fans, a 16-game season, that's good news right now. I think these are the 2 best teams in the country. I think Ohio State's a little bit better. It's all going to depend if they have the right game plan in. And I believe in Chip Kelly on defensive. I believe with Jim Knowles.
Ohio State defensively failed to record a sack against Dylan Gabriel last time out. I think they only got like 8 or 9 pressures against him the whole time. Since then, Knowles sort of re-engineered, retooled this defense. It seems to have been working. They've got more creative ways to get at the quarterback with blitzes, simulated pressures, mixing more coverages in with the blitzes. Is this something that can work against the Oregon offense, or is this something that Oregon has seen similar to this before and they've dealt with it?
No, I think Ohio State, look, Sonny Styles has been great the last 4 or 5 games. He's been fantastic. Simon also, he's been great as well. See, hear his name called a lot more. And that's going to be the key, because they've got Tez Johnson, they've got Trayshawn Holden, they got Evan Stewart. Evan Stewart had 7 catches for 149 yards in the first game, picking on Denzel Burke quite a bit. Ohio State has figured out, I believe, how to help out in that situation. And Evan Stewart didn't play in the game against Penn State in the Big Ten Championship. Looks like he'll play this week, though. But I think Ohio State has a plan for pressure. And they also, because of the depth Ohio State has, no one's ever going to be tired. They've got so much depth in the defense, especially up front, that they can get Jack Sawyer. You saw him against Tennessee, had a couple of passes he knocked down, had some sacks also. So I think Knowles is a genius. And I think that what they learned the first time, I know it's been a while since they played. They played back in October, middle of October is when they played. Both teams will have a little bit of a different look now, but I trust that Jim Knowles and I think Ohio State will be able to put pressure on Gabriel, and that'll be very important to help out this defensive backfield.
So any predictions for tomorrow's Rose Bowl?
I think Ohio State wins. I think Ohio State, it's funny that we've got this thing with the situation of the way they seed things now. And like people are like, oh, Oregon kind of got screwed. And they did. They did, no doubt about it. It's a tough road for them. I think Ohio State wins. I think they probably win. I've got 38-27 in my book is what I think they'll win by. I think it'll be an 11-point win. Oregon's a very good team, no doubt about it. But I think Ohio State, if they play like they did against Tennessee, they'll win this game in double digits.
If for some reason they don't, and I won't give my prediction, I gave it earlier before you came on the show.
What'd you say it was? You said Oregon.
I said Oregon 28, Ohio State 17.
Okay. It's going to be a great game no matter what. I'm excited about it.
I mean, I don't know that I've ever cared about a Rose Bowl game, but I mean, obviously this being part of the, I'll be watching. I'm not pulling for either team. Right. I'll be hoping that Tito has a happy New Year's Day. That's what I'm going to be hoping for. Other than the Shohei Ohtani play that we talked about, did you have a favorite maybe Buckeye sports moment of the year?
It was going to I went to the Oregon game, Oregon-Ohio State. Even though Ohio State lost, going there in Eugene and getting to experience that atmosphere, it was so much fun. Oregon fans were great, very kind. Most of them were. I had a couple of students around us that were jerks. But anyway, but like for the most part, though, and I loved the stadium, the atmosphere there. It was honestly, and I say this not proudly, I say this disappointingly, but 60,000 fans in Oregon were louder than I've heard in 107,000 fans or whatever it is at Ohio State.
Wow.
It was great. It was a great atmosphere, a beautiful setting and everything. It was like I needed Keith Jackson next to me to describe it.
Man.
But yeah, so that even though Ohio State lost, I had a great time at the game. I enjoyed it, enjoyed the atmosphere, and that was probably my top sports moment of the year. Probably Shohei's number 2, but that right there, even though it was a loss, next year we're going to try to go to Washington to watch them play the Huskies and see what that's like up there in Seattle.
Maybe I'll meet you there.
Oh God, that'd be awesome.
Let's do it.
Well, my wife's going to be. I was saying bring a couple friends. My wife's going to be there, so never mind.
All right, I may not be able to make it. Sorry, Heather. I love you. Just kidding. All right, Tito. Appreciate you popping on with us.
Thanks, man. Happy New Year.
Hey, before Tito goes.
Hang on.
Representing Lake
when you were going on and on about Ohio State, right behind me, this Michigan band is unbelievable. They're playing Hail to the Victors, and I really wanted to play it for you up close so you could really feel the precision that they play with and execute with, much like their football team did to Ohio State. It was really a magical moment, and I wanted you to share it with me, but they're gone now. But it's really
Look out
good.
for lightning. I hope it's lightning today.
Wow, lightning strike.
There might be a bolt coming down here soon. But love you, brother. Love you, brother.
Thanks, Tito.
All right.
See you. There he goes, Tito. Take another quick break, JP.
Yeah, quick break. We'll come back and do the sports moments. Get a little loud here, but then we'll wrap it up. We'll do the sports moments. You got some of yours. I got some of mine. And we'll wrap up the show live from the ReliaQuest Bowl at Raymond James Stadium. Stay with us.
So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing, reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Tarpon Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. We got a performance going on behind us here. All the local high school girls out there getting a chance to perform out for Alabama and Michigan. A really cool experience for them. But I saw one of the Alabama Crimsonettes. She was coming off the field and she was just bawling in tears. I was like, why is that girl crying? And then all her friends were around her. I'm like, realize that's the last time she's going to perform, you know, in her Crimsonette. You know, for the players we think about. And she saw JP Peterson. You don't even think about that, though. For a lot of the cheerleaders and the band members, this is the last time they'll be. It's the same thing, you know, probably even more so because a lot of the players are going to go on the NFL or XFL. They'll play again, especially for both these teams. They'll play here in Michigan. It's not their last. But for so many of these kids, it's their last game performance. It's very emotional. Very emotional. Did not think of that. All right, so let's go ahead and line up the top sports moments for you, my friend. You already played a few of them. The Chiefs win for me when the Super Bowl comes down to that dramatic finish. That was just awesome. The Shohei game, I mean, we'll never see that again. We'll never see that again, I don't think. So that's definitely one of the top moments. Locally, for me, I mentioned my favorite moment has to be the Eagles playoff game here last year, early in the year. I mean, this place was packed. It wasn't Eagles fans like it wasn't a regular season. It was, you know, a moment, for Bucs fans. They haven't had many. Baker Mayfield, the whole team. It was a team that wasn't supposed to do anything, and they won a freaking playoff game at home where they were trying to, eating up all this cap money. It was a great accomplishment for them. So definitely one of my top local moments. Right. The Stamkos stuff last year, the 500 points, 1,000 games. I mean, it just was one of the most iconic players in the history of Tampa Bay sports. And, we all kind of figured maybe it would come to an end. Yeah. And that last season was magical and all the milestones that he accomplished. It's just, if there's a Mount Rushmore of sports icons in Tampa Bay, he's on it. And to see those moments, to me, what a class act. Epitomizes everything, the team, loyalty, hard work, leadership, all of it. Just fantastic. And then maybe my number one sports moment of this year didn't even happen on the field. Happened at a county commission meeting. Kind of brought tears to my eyes when Chris Lotfula used every one of my talking points on Stu Sternberg at a county commission meeting and lit him up. Put it into the public record. Put it into the public record. The penny pinching owner. There's so many great lines in that. I just have it on repeat. It's just one of the greatest athletic performances in the history of local sports. So it's very appreciative. It was It's definitely a highlight.
Let's get into some comments while the Peanut Gallery offering their best sports moments. I did this one earlier. Michael Rue, the playoff game versus the Eagles. I've never heard it louder in that stadium.
Absolutely.
Michael Sorgel said the Buccaneers drafting Graham Barton in the first round.
We knew it would be good, but this good this early, awesome.
Christopher Cole commented, and I can't agree with you here, Christopher, because I'm not a fan, but his favorite sports moment was anything in the Olympics.
It was a great Olympics, I thought. I really enjoyed the Olympics. So many great moments.
And then, of course, Rick has to be a smartass every time he comes on the air with us, and we love you, Rick. His best sports moment of 2024 was the Rays almost signing Aaron Judge.
U.S. interest in the Middle East, Central, and South Asia.
All right, I think we're going to do the anthem here. So,
okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing.
Yeah, this is the real one. So,
all right, it's the real one.
You want to watch?
Yeah, let's keep it here.
Performing the Star Spangled Banner. Please welcome Florida State University graduate.
Ooh, FSU. Ooh, go Noles. We made a bowl game.
There you go.
We made it to a bowl game. Singing a national anthem.
It can be seen with Strass Center's Opera Tampa in the 2025 productions of Candide and La Boheme. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly reared at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly free, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of
Go Noles. That was an FSU guy right there. That was a great baritone rendition, my friend.
Yeah,
absolutely
how you like that?
fantastic. I was hoping we'd have a flyover, but I guess it's too overcast. Oh, look out. Look out. Look out.
Watch out.
Look out.
Watch out, JP.
Oh, my God. I almost got overrun.
Holy crap.
You should have seen the faces of those girls. That would have, somebody told them to get the heck off the field that fast. Holy hell. I was almost trampled to death by a bunch of high school girls. I didn't think I'd go out that way, Timmy.
That's my new favorite sports moment in 2024, right there.
I don't know what that looked like, but I turned around and there was like 1,000 high school, middle school, elementary girls running at me, and they had really angry faces. Oh my God,
I get that all the time.
Yeah, I bet you do. All right, so you have your moments.
Yeah, here's my final two, JP. This is my number 2 sports moment of the year, and I apologize to all of the Lightning fans that are watching.
You're such a jerk. You're such a jerk.
Look,
you did this on purpose.
It probably would have been any team that won it. Because I'm a fan of the Stanley Cup.
You're on suspension for tomorrow. Oh, we're not doing a show.
My number one sports moment of the year in all of 2024 was this.
Out in game 1.
Okay. Oh my God, Freddie Freeman. Freddie freaking Freeman.
Channeling his inner Kirk Gibson with his walk-off in game 1.
Another one of the guys we barely missed out on that the Rays were in on. Just missed out on Freddie Freeman. All those guys we were in on, it could be an all-star team. How many did we get?
None.
Listen, I want everybody to have a safe New Year's Eve tonight. You as well, my friend. Well, here comes Michigan. We'll get a shot of this as we sign off. Look at that. Look at that beautiful M. Tito, eat your heart out. Look at that. I love the pageantry of college football. I don't care if you can say this game doesn't mean anything, not to these players, not to these fans, not to this city. It's absolutely incredible, this atmosphere out here. It's just, listen to the band. Hail to the band. Look at the band. Look at the band over there. It's just the best. This is what I love about college football. That's what I love about college football. And please, for God's sakes, you people that run this sport, get your head out of your ass. We cannot screw this up, and you are screwing it up. Get control of all this NIL stuff, transfer portal. There's ways to pay the players. Keep the traditions of college football. This is what it's all about, man, and I freaking love it. I'm standing here, I get goosebumps. I don't even cheer for these teams. It's just the best. It's the best in sports, in my opinion, and we're screwing it up. Let's get it right. Love you guys. Have a great New Year. We'll take the day off tomorrow for all the football. We'll be back with you on Thursday. Thank you, Timmy. Great job. What a show, right? What a show we had today.
Amazing.
It's fantastic. We love you guys. Thanks for being a part of JP Peterson Show.
It's about making the biggest plays in the biggest moment.
Next year, yeah.
Thank you.